Welcome to Customer Service Academy Radio with author and customer experience expert Tony Johnson. Tony will share his vision for successful customer service, leadership, and business excellence, and speak to some of the most impactful leaders in business today. And now, here's Tony Johnson.
Hello everybody, Customer Service Academy is on the air. I'm Tony Johnson, your customer experience speaker, consultant, and trainer. Today's episode comes to you courtesy of Ignite Your Service Training and Consulting and 4XI Global Consulting and Solutions. Truly, better together. Folks, we have the most amazing survey out there in the field right now. We have a report on CX Insights that we spent a ton of time collecting data, doing the analysis, putting it all together in a format that makes sense. Now, you've probably downloaded these things before from various organizations out there in the world, and often they tell you nothing. They sound like they're going to solve the universe for you, yet they just tell you everything you already know, and they look like, oh, I could have Googled that myself. Well, I want to challenge you to head on over to 4xiconsulting.com/CX Insights Report 2024. Now, I know that's a mouthful, so I'm going to put that in the show notes, but I challenge you, head on over and download that report right now. I will tell you, I worked with the team over there at 4XI, and it is a fantastic report. It really does outline everything from what organizations are getting it right, what are real-life examples out there, what does the data show that consumers, customers, and guests, and by the way, we tell you the difference between those three things in the report, but it will tell you what those folks are actually looking for and what you, as a business owner, an executive, a manager, a leader, can do inside of your organization to drive results. So this is not a puff piece by any stretch of the imagination. There's great data in there for you. So I want you to head on over and download it today. It is a great piece that will help you win in this ever-evolving market. We know change is coming fast and furious. These are the actual results and the data that will help you win with your customers today. So head on over and get it. When we think about where we are in the market right now, it's always great to find folks that are doing a really great job. It always does astound me when I walk in and in sometimes the most unexpected places you can walk in and get great, amazing customer service. And I really had a great example of wonderful service here in Lakeland, Florida. There's an organization, a business, a franchise called Chicken Salad Chick. Now, if you're not familiar with it, the name says it all. They do a bunch of different seasonal and flavored chicken salads. They also do pimento cheeses and salads and sweet tea and the whole bit. But the whole shtick is their chicken salad is spot on, and you can get it in 100 different ways. And you can also get pimento cheese sides, and they have a great broccoli salad, and all the food is made in-house. It's really, really good. And it is a real up-and-comer. Now, I was unfamiliar with this. My wife's loved it for years, but I was unfamiliar with it. There wasn't one around the area here. And they finally built one right here in Lakeland, Florida. And we went to the grand opening and went in, and they were just knocking it out of the park. Did a fantastic job of great service, great food, and really managing expectations. But it was a really nice event. Now, what they did right and what the brand does right is the menu is fairly limited. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a good way, like the way Chick-fil-A keeps their menu super tight. So, again, the offerings are all based around a base chicken salad that they sort of plus up with different ingredients, different add-ons, different breads, things like that. And it's done well. It's a menu that's controllable. It's good for speed of service. And they do a really good job of making sure everyone knows what's in everything, because obviously allergens are a thing. And then the service that we received was friendly. It was kind. It was hospitable. In fact, I would say we got hospitality, not service, while we were in there. And they did a really nice job of that. It looks like they really hired some great people. It's a local couple that owns this place, so they're doing a great job with that. And they did a couple of things that were really instrumental, I think, in their success so far. And by the way, I've driven by it, lines out the door every single day since they opened. So when we went in, the first time we went to this location, they actually had a friends and family day. I'm lucky enough to be super involved with the Lakeland Chamber of Commerce. Shout out to them. And I spent a lot of time with them as an ambassador, welcoming new members in. And I was lucky enough to score an invite to their Friends and Family Day. And this is something that goes deep back into my restaurant roots. You can't just open the doors for day one at a restaurant and expect it to go well. It just won't. So what a lot of restaurants do is they do these friends and family days. These are soft openings. These are days when they invite a certain number of people in, people who are kind of friendly to the cause, if you will, folks that can come in and kind of kick the tires, help them break things, help them test their processes and their people and their ingredients and putting plates together and things like that. It's old hat in the restaurant business. And so thinking about how they did that, they did a really nice job. They invited enough people that they could sort of stress the system, test the system. And then they also did a really nice job of having folks come in a measured way. I gave them time periods. So again, it sort of stressed the system, but didn't overwhelm it. They want to push it, but not break it, not necessarily. And so I think that was something that they really thought through really well. And the other thing I thought they did a really nice job with was they were obviously giving the food away because it was a test day, but they asked for a charitable donation to a local organization, and they ended up raising something like $4,000 for them during the course of that event. So again, not only did they get to test their systems, test their processes, get a little bit of buzz out in the community, if you will, but they also got to give back to the community to a charitable organization, and I thought that was really well done. The other thing that we've been talking about a lot in the kind of the CX circles, and I'm a proud card-carrying member of the Customer Experience Professionals Association, the CXPA. That's where I have my CX credentials through, and a lot of folks do. They're the leading CX organization in the world. Been talking a lot about AI. And we just had a great meeting last week where we were kind of kicking the tires, a bunch of us CX geeks getting together and talking about what is the future of AI. We all have to sort of come to grips with that and how it's going to fit into our particular corners of the store. So it's a great conversation. It inspired me to think about, where is CX going? Where is customer experience going? Where's hospitality and service going? And how does AI fit into those four walls, and thinking about how everything comes together? Because again, it's coming. It's here. It's already out there. Everyone's got ChatGPT on their phone, and there's new ones coming every single day that are challenging what AI can do for us. And we've also seen all the cutbacks that are happening. We've seen folks starting to leverage AI to be, better, faster, smarter. And so we know that it's something that we have to think about and consider. So was thinking a lot about how that all starts to fit together inside of organizations, and really how do we amplify the power? So we know that AI is revolutionizing how business is getting done, how people are interacting with customers, and everything from predictive intelligence to chatbots. And it's understanding, I think, the conversation today is that the technology itself is not enough. Customers expect these tailored solutions. They want to be seen. They want to feel valued and understood. But that's not something that a chatbot or technology or AI can do on its own. It's all going to be that omni-channel intersection of people and technology and tools. So really thinking about how we strike the right balance, right? And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about striking that balance. We're going to talk about using the tools that can make you better, faster, smarter. And we're talking about some companies that are really leading the way in this. And there's some of the usual suspects, no doubt, but I think it's good to know how they're utilizing it, because I don't know about you, when I have a use case, I can kind of be like, okay, I kind of get that. I kind of get how they're using it. I can kind of do the same thing. So we're going to talk about this AI transformation. We're going to talk about this personalization and hyper-personalization. And then again, these companies that are getting it right. So what can we learn from them, and what can we do? So let's kind of jump in here and kind of look at this first piece that we want to talk about. And this is sort of AI in general. So I want you to think about how you're using AI in your business right now. And I want you to think about, more importantly, how is that going to slant toward experience? So shifting from this idea of being reactive to proactive. One of the things AI can do really well is help anticipate customer needs. And that's more than just responding to an issue. It's using it to knock friction out of their way. And we've talked about journey maps a lot. And so thinking about how can AI help you kickstart your journey mapping and your customer understanding, so that you really can be in the thick of things every single day. And so that, again, you're not back on your heels reacting. You're actually stopping problems before they can bum a customer out and before it can cost you a sale. You probably are very familiar with one of the first pieces of AI technology that made it into the service marketplace, and that's chatbots and virtual assistants. So these bots have been around forever, but they've been clunky. They haven't been real great. They've been expensive, and it's been something that's kept a lot of organizations from leveraging that kind of technology. But AI-powered chatbots are sort of chatbots on steroids. If you think about it, they can handle not just those common inquiries, password resets, frequently asked questions, things like that. They can actually do a much better job of answering real questions. Because remember, when you think about what AI does, AI is all about pattern recognition. AI is all about putting words together in clusters and thinking about what words come next. That's how AI tends to function. So the smarter AI gets, the more it is at understanding how do those things fit together, right? How do the patterns that they're getting from a customer start to fit together in the chatbot, and what patterns of words should come next? That's all AI really does if you think about it. So the more it can help reduce wait times. The more it can take care of a problem while the customer's right there, because let's face it, we've all had some pretty crummy chatbots, and you just sit there and pound operator or customer service or get me a human into the chat thing until you finally get its attention enough that it'll send you over to a live agent. It's like the old days when you just bang 0 on the phone because you didn't want to play with the automated menu in there anymore, and you just want to get to an operator. So again, leveraging those, if you were going to put time, effort, and budget into something, that might be one of the most impactful things you could do, is to use it to really power up your omni-channel chatbot experience. The other thing that I think is really interesting is sentiment analysis with your verbatim comments in your survey. So if you're unfamiliar with this, every survey has 2 kinds of questions, right? It's the one where you check a box, right? Rate from 1 to 5, how good or bad was this thing? Service or quality or the chicken salad, whatever that something is. And those are quantitative analysis data points. So there's a number assigned to them. They're super easy to analyze. You can get an average score and a mean and the whole bit, and you can kind of see how you're doing there. So those are pretty easy to analyze. You can shove them into an Excel spreadsheet pretty easily and come up with some answers. Now, the second kind of data you can get are qualitative data points. Now, this is sort of the fill in the blank, if you will. What one thing would you fix if you could? What was great? Did anybody make a memory for you while you were there? There are all these open-ended questions you get on surveys. Now, they're a little bit trickier. They're all words and things, so it makes it hard to sort of wrap your head around it. You could sit and read hundreds and hundreds of survey responses and sort of get a flavor for it, but to really get the power of what is the sentiment, what is the customer trying to say, that can be harder. And the more qualitative data points you get, the more open-ended responses you get, the tougher it gets to translate them. So what AI can really do is go beyond just throwing them into a word cloud, which is what we all used to do and look for the big words. This can take you to a point where you can actually plug in all of your qualitative data, all of those open-ended responses into AI, plug it in with your numerical value pieces, the quantitative data, and have it spit out a whole analysis around what are they saying and how does that reflect back to the numbers. Because what the open-ended responses do is they give flavor to the numbers. They give color commentary to the numbers. So you may see that you're having really low hospitality scores numerically, but without the good analysis, you might miss that Bob, Frank, and Francine at your front desk are the ones that are really bumming out your customers because they're always getting complaints. Or if you're doing really, really well, you may see that 4 or 5 employees are really driving that, and A, you can recognize them, but B, you can find out what they're doing that the customers and guests love so much and train the rest of the team to amplify those behaviors. So when you can start plugging this stuff into AI, it really does supercharge your survey results. And that's, again, one of the biggest things that organizations need to wrap their heads around. If you're listening out there at big organizations or even small ones, if you're not doing anything with your survey data, if you're not listening, if you're not using it to improve and drive decision making, that is job one. Don't even think about going to AI and doing anything, big and techy and investment oriented until you knock that one off your to-do list. And then there are some really great other things that you can look to. So you can look at, this voice recognition in call centers. AI is doing a fantastic job of that. You can even look to these avatar-driven responses where you can actually put an AI avatar in to answer questions in real time, to have a face to the voice. So there's a million things that you can start to do with contact centers. Also, think about this whole line of things that have to happen after a customer puts in a request for something. It could be the automated ticketing and case resolution, where AI can assign support tickets, can prioritize issues when inside of your workflow, and even resolve them potentially without even any kind of human intervention or interaction. So think about that. A customer's got a problem, and AI might be able to solve it. Here's an interesting one that I'm actually in the middle of too, be a great use case for this. So today I was having trouble finding my login for a website, and I want to cancel it. And the virtual assistant that I was working with couldn't match me up with my website because of the email and a whole host of different issues that I'm running into. So it sent me to a form I could fill out where I could put in a receipt number. And I think the way this is going to actually work, if they're as automated as I think they are inside of WordPress, is I think this is all going to be automated. I think they're going to analyze the numbers I gave them, see if it's enough information, and then issue me a way that I can matriculate my website over to an email that I have access to, so that I can shut the website down and get my refund and all of that. And I do believe it feels like most of this is happening with an AI chatbot. So as this process goes along, there's potential for it to resolve a fairly complex issue. I can't get into my website and I want to cancel it, and all these different things. And I think it may end up resolving this without any kind of human intervention. So stay tuned. I'll give you an update on that, but that would be a good use case for something like that. Again, a little bit more than I can't find my password, and a little bit less than I need a human person to help me figure this out. The other things that I think AI has tremendous bandwidth for are multilingual support. I've been thinking a lot about training videos for organizations, and maybe inside of your business you have a need to scale training content. Think about the power of being able to feed a script into an AI avatar, have it then deliver that content, whatever that training content is, could be complex, could be simple, but then not only do you have it in the core language in which you uploaded it, but it can translate it into any number of different languages across the course of your enterprise based on where you do business. So you may have a need for maybe one translation into Spanish or French or something, and you may need to actually translate it into even more dialects. But AI makes it a possibility where before it was so cost prohibitive because it was all manual, it worked with people, and it just added expense to the bottom line. Now, of course, there's an expense for that, but the scaled power of AI brings that down to something very affordable, even for mid and small-sized organizations. Something that large organizations were the only ones that had access to because they were the only ones that can afford it, now becomes very affordable for all kinds of different businesses. So it adds this level of competition and competitiveness because it brings a tool to the marketplace. And then one more piece on this proactive service piece, this moving from reactionary to proactive service. This also allows for some really great recommendation stuff. And when we think about the organizations that are doing a really great job with that, you can really look to Amazon. Amazon does a fantastic job. I mean, if you've ever been on their website, and who hasn't, every time you buy something, it recommends things to go with it. It looks at your buying history and puts things at the top of your stack when you log in. You can't live without. So AI is really integral in the Amazon model, and they were very cutting edge even before the AI explosion. And so they're going to just continue to be able to dial in their offers as time goes on in an even more impactful way for their end customer. Or you look at Bank of America. They've got AI-powered virtual assistants that are helping customers with banking transactions, spending insights, all kinds of things to really help them make more of their financial resources. So many different ways to help customers through that. So what's the point of this? The true point when you think about this explosion of AI and where it can really help, it comes down to personalization. When you think about everything that customers are telling us right now, the data shows, bar none, that personalization, understanding them, and being able to react to their needs or proactively give them what they need is so important to them. Those are ways to win in business right now. Make it easy and make it feel like it's just for me. That is a huge way to do that. So let's start by defining what we're talking about here. Hyper-personalization really does move beyond simple personalization. So there's cool personalization, like knowing people's names and their favorite order at the bar and stuff like that. But hyper-personalization anticipates needs and adjusts experiences in real time. So this is really all about, you're on Amazon and you order something and they say, hey, people who ordered this also ordered that. Or even more to the point, it realizes that you've been browsing for new televisions or new monitors for your computer, and now every time you jump on, it's giving you new ideas for something that you might find better. So for example, I bought a really huge 49-inch curved monitor. It ended up not being for me. I didn't like the distortion. It was too big for the desk, a million different things. But then after I returned it, Amazon started showing me options for the need that I had, which was more real estate or a new monitor at a decent size, and started showing me options that weren't a large display like that, weren't a large single 49-inch display. It started showing me some of these, for example, two 27-inch widescreens that were curved and kind of fit together, thinking that maybe I would like that better. And it actually recommended a couple of options I looked at, kicked the tires on, and pulled the trigger on a couple days ago to replace the monitor I just returned. So again, I thought that was a really nice piece of borderline hyper-personalization from Amazon. Now, when we think about what that means, and how you put it to use, right? So this is about using data. AI data is going to analyze browsing habits. It can help with purchase history, and it can help with engagement patterns with your customers. You know, if you serve people in a boutique environment, AI can really help you understand what their buying preferences are, and as they come in to see you the next time, you can personalize that. You know, I think about Ritz-Carlton and some of the hotel chains who tend to know what your favorites are when you check in. If you ever stayed at a place where you check in and they knew what kind of wine you liked and had it there for you, or knew what kind of snacks you liked and had it in the room for you or offered it to you at the front desk, that kind of personalization goes a long way. So understanding customers really feels good. And then suggesting things before they think they need it. If you can give something to a customer before they even realize they had a problem or had a need, that's a powerful way to do it, and AI can help you with that. So this is really a powerful way to make sure you can understand your customers and that you're ready to provide those kind of recommendations for them as they need them. And that's really where you're going to win in the marketplace, because these tools are now in this sort of affordability zone where we can all start to bring them in. Now, the trick is making sure that we keep the human connection tight in there, that there's always a way for a human to come in and intervene when needed, to be there when true help is needed. I think about someone using the kiosk at an airport. This is a low-tech example, but someone's there using a check-in. They walk in there, they walk up to the ticket counter, they start to do the manual check-in, and they start to have trouble. So the power there is an agent being able to see that someone's having trouble with the digital screen and the check-in. Maybe they're having trouble printing the bag tag, or they're lost, or they can't get logged in, any number of things. And to know when to go jump in, to know when to get in there and help out before it becomes a friction point. That's really the power of the human technology integration. And as important as AI is, nothing will be more important than how organizations integrate human connection, AI, and technology. So again, we've talked about this predictive analytics, really important. We've talked about personalizing customer interactions, really important. And then thinking about using AI in your loyalty program. That would be the last piece where I think businesses can really implement this hyper-personalization. So offering personalized rewards and incentives based on customer history. So if you've got a rewards program and maybe you're a restaurant, right? It could be something as simple as the rewards are tailored around things that the customer has bought in the past. Maybe they have a favorite sandwich or a favorite side or a favorite beverage. Why would you offer them something generic when you can say, hey, I'd like to offer you a free one of your very favorite beverage, because predictive analytics and AI was able to comb through their purchase history and say, this person always orders the cherry mochaccino or whatever that silly beverage is. And the next thing you know, you're offering them not just a drink, but their favorite drink. And that makes them feel like you really get them. And that's important. I cannot think of a better company that gets this right than Netflix. It's like they're inside my head. They do a great job, I think, of making these leaps from you watch this, this, and this, so you're going to like this. Now, sometimes they're really obvious, right? Because I'm a big sci-fi junkie, right? So when a new sci-fi movie comes out, that's low-hanging fruit. That's not even low-hanging fruit. That's fruit that's laying on the ground. Just pick it up, right? So that's an easy thing for them to say, okay, this new sci-fi movie with Chris Pratt came out. Tony tends to watch movies that are sci-fi or have Chris Pratt in them. Boom, that's the movie for him. That's an easy one. But so often they'll put things in my feed that I think, yeah, that's kind of weird. But then I watch it and I'm like, I like that. It had a similar vibe, a similar feel, a similar aesthetic, maybe stars that I tend to lean into. But I would not maybe have picked that movie for myself. But then I watch it and think, okay, that makes really good sense. Or the way AI is really good on HBO Max. I love the way when I dial in, it shows me what the top 10 watched TV shows and top 10 watched movies are in the world today, or in the US today. And that's a powerful thing for me, because we all love groupthink and we all think, well, gosh, if these folks are watching this, it must be worth watching. So it helps you get in on that as well. So again, it's just a number crunching exercise really for AI there, or for the technology piece there. But again, it's very impactful. So it becomes sort of a FOMO factor there. If the analytics pop up and say that everybody's watching White Lotus, I don't want to miss out on season 3 of White Lotus. I want to be part of that conversation, so I'll jump in and start watching it when I see it in that list. So really, that's a great intersection. AI and hyper-personalization were meant to go together, because it is going to be the future of experience, of customer service, of CX. They were a match made in heaven for this. Because when you think about it, AI can process a huge amount of data and can really do much more analysis that creates that hyper-personalization to bring relevance to every customer conversation. And that's a huge trend we're seeing. And we talked about this a little bit at the top of the show. There is a huge shift from mass personalization to individualized experiences. So moving beyond these basic personalization moments to a way that makes them feel tailored just for them. So it starts to move beyond the bartender just knowing your name to the bartender knowing you love gin, and their brand new gin just came in from someplace in California that's orange scented and fantastic, and a new local gin, and it's something that would really appeal to you, and knowing to suggest that to you in your favorite gin and tonic or martini, and maybe even coming up with a recipe to showcase that. So I'm Tony, I like gin. There's a local gin from California that sounds amazing, and you have a recommendation on how I could best leverage that gin in a cocktail. So if you think about that, it goes well beyond just knowing I'm Tony and I like gin. It really helps make that experience something special. And that's the kind of place that people want to come back again and again, because this idea of building memories, of creating experiences, that's what you're really enabling here. Never forget, all this technology stuff is outstanding. But it comes down to that visceral moment, that problem solving, that doing things quickly, creating a memory, making me feel like I'm valued and seen and understood. That's what brings customers back. The technology is just an enabler. It's a tool. It's a lever to help you get there. So again, I think it does come back to this whole idea of AI can help you with your customer profiles or persona to really dial those in, to enhance how you segment those customers and understand them as groups, and to really deliver the best service for them. And then again, thinking about driving, whether it's content personalization, whether it's blog personalization, whether it's contextual awareness of how you can help them in the marketplace, or driving great loyalty programs. Each one of those pieces are all important. And when you think about using this accelerator, so I was watching this program on AI, and the host, she said, every time you start your day with AI, it's like you're starting your day at 30 miles an hour. You're not starting flat-footed, you're starting at 30 miles an hour. And that 30 miles an hour helps you get over the curve and makes it even easier to accelerate to 60, 70, 100 miles an hour. So it's a stepping stone, and it's a tool. When you think about companies that are getting that right, I will tell you, Spotify does great. Amazon Music does great with these hyper-personalized curated playlists. I just got surprised the other day. I like listening to instrumental music while I'm working. And so I keep getting recommended these great channels. I found the most fantastic one the other day. It was a whole channel with no words in any of the songs, because that's how I like them when I'm working. But they were all music tunes from music themes. It's a wonderful channel. I've been listening the heck out of that thing. And that was a recommendation that came through on the program. Or even Starbucks. Think about that AI-powered personalization engine that they have. It remembers people's drinks, suggests things based on past orders, and really helps folks with suggesting items that might go with what they ordered. So this whole idea of personalization and getting to know customers, Starbucks, Spotify, Amazon Music, they do a really nice job with that. So folks, we've covered a lot of ground today. If you're loving the show today, and I sure hope you are, scroll on down, leave 5 stars, say something nice, share it with your friends, subscribe, help keep Customer Service Academy one of the top customer service podcasts in the world. We so appreciate you. So again, a lot going on out there in the marketplace. Change is coming fast and furious. So please use tools like AI and the technology tools that are available to take something off your plate and help get ahead of the curve. This is really the new standard to help deliver these unforgettable, memory-making customer experiences. So I want you to think about a couple of key takeaways as we wrap, right? I want you to think about how AI can fit into your organization. Be sure to be thinking about that. Also, look for those opportunities to personalize your customer touchpoints and really take a leaf out of the notebook of Netflix and Spotify and Starbucks and Amazon about how they're leveraging technology to serve their customers. And then finally, never forget, in the middle of all of this, yes, leverage AI. Yes, leverage the power of technology. Yes, leverage the power of data to make decisions, but never lose sight of the people. You need to make sure you're taking great care of your teams in the moment. We will have an episode on how AI can make you a better team leader, but also make sure you never lose sight of those customers, those guests, those people that are at the center of all we do, because this data, this technology is all about making their experiences better to drive loyalty to help you grow your business. So remember, that's a key piece of this. It's people and it's technology working together. So folks, that is our show. Remember, we are still in the middle of the Great Service Comeback. Reach out if we can help you implement AI or employee training into your organization to drive better customer outcomes and help you grow your business. Until next time, I've been Tony Johnson, your customer experience strategist and trainer, reminding you to keep your customers and your AI at the center of everything you do, because that's where the most amazing things are possible. Thanks again for listening, and I will talk to you next week.
This has been Customer Service Academy Radio with Tony Johnson. Tony is available to speak at your event, meeting, or workshop. Have a powerful customer-focused day.